Support Pro Play Games on Patreon.
How's it going, guys? Brito here, showing you a deck profile for Beelzemon. It's a really good one, so without further ado, let's get into it. For the eggs, I run 4 of the Poglemon on deletion. So these on deletion trash top 2 cards of your deck. The objective of this deck is to just try to turbo your trash as much as you can. The sweet spot here is to have 20 to 30 cards in trash. So this Pokemon really helps facilitate that. Now, to start off with our rookies, we have these on deletion trash top 3 from your deck. So this Impmon really helps out with the facilitating of the trash from your deck. This one combos up very well with the baby Pokemon. So this one, you just always want to swing with this guy, whether it's at your opponent's suspended Digimon or the security, because you just want him to just get deleted. The next level 3 we run in this deck is EX3 Impmon. He has a bunch of effects. The first one, if he gets milled through any effect, then other than his own, then you get to mill up to 3 more cards in your trash. And notice the wording there, up to 3. With this card, you do want to choose the number. When it's early on in the game, you just want to mill top 3. But if it's like you're close to the end, you're about to deck out, and you see that you're probably at like 28, 29 cards, you can choose to mill 1 or 2 just to reach that magical 30 number. He also has an on play. On play, you can reveal the top 4 cards of your deck and add an Iron Mako and a Beelzemon from them to your hand. It has to be Beelzemon in name, so it can be any Beelzemon really. It also has a really good inheritable that on your turn, when this Digimon has Beelzemon in its name, it gains plus 3k DP. For the next rookie, I run 2 of the BT6 Impmon. This one simply just on play, you may trash 1 card from your hand to return a 7 Great Demon Lords or a 3 Musketeer from your trash to your hand. Oftentimes, you're going to be the only targets in this deck are 7 Great Demon Lords. So he's bringing back pretty much your Beelzemons from the trash after you trash them. So you only run 2. You don't really need any more. 2 is kind of the sweet spot for this card. And then to round off the rookies, I run 1 of Dracmon and 1 of Gazi. The Gazi is really just a floodgate. All turns, he stops your opponent from getting memory from other than Tamer effects. So he's really good for stopping, like, let's say Bloom Lord or any other deck that gives you memory out of nowhere. The Dracmon, he really helps out with when you're trying to recur certain options, like 1-cost options. On play, you may return a 1 or 7-cost option from your trash. So in this deck, I run plenty of 1 of options. He helps you recur them, and yeah, he's really helpful in this deck. Now for the level 4s, I run 4 Wizardmon. This Wizardmon is pretty important in this deck. Essentially his effect is that when he gets trashed from your deck, when he gets milled, just gain a memory. Simple as that. His real value comes in from his inheritable. When attacking, you may reveal 1 purple card from your hand and place it at the top of your deck. What he helps you do is to fix your mills. Like, let's say before you swing with an Impmon to delete, you have a level 5 over him, you would swing, reveal a card, like let's say another Wizardmon, to put on top of your deck, and then once you do the milling, you gain his effect of gaining a memory when he's milled. So this really helps out this deck when it comes to fixing your mills. So we run 4 of the Wizardmons. We also run 2 Dobermons in this list. His effect is that when you have an Alice McCoy, which is a Tamer, on the field, you get to reduce his cost by 2, so you place a 3 cost. In this list, I don't run Alice McCoy, but if you choose to run it, it synergizes well with this card. He's good in this list for his on deletion effect. On deletion effect, trash top 3 cards of your deck, then add 1 purple Digimon or 1 purple Tamer from your trash to your hand. So he really helps you recur any Digimon you want from the trash, or if you milled your Tamer and you don't have your Tamer in your hand, he gets you your Tamer. He's really good for resource recursion in this list. Then I only run one more level 4, and it's Kinkaku Promote. Oftentimes people opt for the one of hybrid for game, but in this list it's very, very situational and very, very conditional for the one of hybrid. One, you need an untapped Tamer as well as 2 memory. For this one, he can go over just about any level 3 or 4 Digimon and gives him rush. There's often times where you bring a Digimon back from the trash to the field, you evo on top of him, and you have an extra swing. On top of that, I have cards to recur him from the trash, as well as just play him from the trash and rush for game. He comes up a lot more often than the hybrid for game. As I get through this list, you'll see how he synergizes well. Then, for my level 5s, I have 3 Beelzemon. He's another card that helps you really turbo your mills. When attacking, you may trash up to 3 cards from your deck. Again, with the up 2, so you can choose how much to mill. You can mill 0, 1, 2, 3, and so forth. He has an on deletion is what makes this card even better. On deletion, if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, you can play a Beelzemon from the trash without paying its memory cost. So it is somewhat conditional, the 2 conditions being 10 cards in trash and a Beelzemon in trash. So having him out in the field too early can be a little detrimental. So play this card wisely. For the other level 5, I have a one of Beelzemon Chaos Mode. He's kind of like a staple to be played in just about every purple deck. He has a play cost of 14, but for every 10 cards in your trash, his play cost is reduced by 3. So, like I mentioned, the sweet spot in this deck, 20 or 30 cards. Once you reach 30, he becomes a 5-drop. And on play, and when digivolving, you may delete one of your opponent's level 6 or lower Digimon, as well, or a Tamer. So, this card, you could, once it's late game, you have him in your hand, you could simply hard drop him for 5, pop their biggest body on the board. I've done that so many times. I love this guy. And then for the last level 5, we have kind of a spicy tech here, Shoutmon Cross 4B. Not a lot of people run this card, but this card is very well utilized in this list. So what does he do? First off, he has Armor Purge, and he also has Digicross. So one of the last things you'll do with him actually is hard drop him. When you hard drop him, you can Digicross him with a Beelzemon, and it reduces his cost by 7. That's your last way to play this card. Oftentimes, you'll play him through different effects. You could also just simply Evo on top of another Digimon, a level 4, and you get his one Digivolving effect to place a Digimon with Cross Hearts in your traits. As you'll see soon, one of your Beelzemons do have Cross Hearts in its traits. So, oftentimes I find ways of either Digivolving and putting a Beelzemon under, or finding a way to play him for super cheap and then have it with a Beelzemon under. So, since he has Armor Purge, let's say he gets deleted, you just Armor Purge, and you have the Beelzemon out. Later on, I'll explain more combos when it comes to this guy, but this is actually a really, really good card in this deck. Now for level 6s. Level 6s, we will start off with 4 EX3 Beelzemons. He is kind of the heart and soul of this deck. He's what helps facilitates a lot of your late game plays as well as some early game plays. One of his most important effects is that when he gets trashed from your deck, you can play an Itmon from your trash without paying its memory cost. He's what helps you just essentially Itmon rush. They delete, let's say you have so you have this BT2 Itmon out. This gets deleted. You mill top 3. You mill this Beelzemon. You can bring this guy right back out. He helps out a lot with those kind of combos. He actually makes your opponent scared to delete him, to delete your Itmons. So that's one of his biggest effects when it comes to this deck. He also has a very, very strong when Digivolving and when attacking effect that's not once per turn. That you can trash the top 2 cards of your deck and delete level 3 or lower Digimon. For every 10 cards in your deck, you can increase the level of Digimon by 1. So for example, if you just have less than 10 cards in trash, he pops to level 3. Once you get to 10, he pops to level 4. Once you get to 20, he pops to 5. And then finally 30, you can pop any level 6. Right. So yeah, we run him at 4. The other 2 Beelzemons I play in this list are the BT10 Beelzemon. He has an on-play and when Digivolving effect. You may trash up to 3 cards, You may trash top 3 cards of your deck. Then, for every 10 cards in your trash, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. So you either trash top 3 or you don't. But he's really good at helping blow up your wide boards. Like, let's say you have 30 cards in trash and they have 2 or 3 level 4 or lower Digimons. You find a way to play him, and it pops their board. It's when on play and when digivolving. What really makes him really, really good in this list is, one, he has the Cross Hearts traits, so he synergizes well with the Shaman Cross 4B, as well as his inheritable. End of attack once per turn. For every 10 cards in your trash, you gain a memory. He's really, really important. He combos up perfectly with Beelzemon. Oftentimes, he's the Beelzemon you want to be played from the trash when the Beelzemon is deleted. Now for the last 2 level 6s of this list, it is the Avenged Kidmon package. So what Avenged Kidmon does for this deck is that, first of all, when he's played, you reduce his play cost by 1 for each option in the trash. So let's say you're about to finish milling yourself out, you're about to deck out, you play him and you just fill your deck back with all your option cards. This is what helps you from not losing to deck out. Junomon, what she does in this list is, when digivolving, I may trash the top 3 cards of my deck, and then bring back any Digimon from my trash back to my hand. Junomon is the only way you could bring back Avenged Kidmon once he's like in your trash, whether he's in security or he gets milled. So these 2 are crucial together. If you end up drawing it to him, perfect, you're fine. You could just play him when you need to. If you see him in trash, you need to find a way to bring Junomon to your hand. So this combo is what helps you extend your plays and not deck out. Because if you're playing against grindy decks, like let's say Security Control, this is the combo that really, really helps you not lose. Now for the level 6s, I run 2 blast modes. Beelzemon blast modes. When he's trashed from your deck, you can delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. He's really good when he gets milled. He pops the small bodies. When digivolving, delete all your opponent's Digimon with the highest level. There have been so many times where I've made plays where, let's say it's against Bloomlord and they have one Bloomlord out and they have a bunch of level 3s or 4s out. I find a way to pop their Bloomlord while keeping turn, and then I do the blast mode play to evo into him, and I pop the rest of the board. This guy is really, really good for control, and for his next effect, he's really, really good for aggression. Your turn, for every 10 cards in your trash, he gains security attack +1. Okay, there's a Tamer in this deck that really helps you get into him for very, very cheap. He's an evo cost of 6, but oftentimes you're going to evo into him for 3. I'll show you now once we get to the Tamers, but this card is great. He's your big boss monster in this deck. And for the final level 7, we have the One of Death X. Originally, I had 3 blast modes in this list, but there's some times where your opponent just builds too wide and you're just kind of, you're too far behind. Death X is what helps you come back. He helps you clear your opponent's board as well as set up for the next turn. Because your opponent, he has to deal with this. If he doesn't, this card just destroys their entire board. So yeah, one of this. Now for the options, I run a lot of options in this list. So for the first one, I run 3 Jax Raids. When you play it, gain 1 memory for every 10 cards in your trash. So this card, you oftentimes want to hold it in hand up until the very end where you're about to have turn. Like, this helps you gain all the memory you need. So oftentimes you're gaining 2 to 4 memory if you reach to the 4, but oftentimes it's about 2 to 3 that you're getting. 2 to 3 memory off each one that you play. This is what helps you do those really massive turns of blast mode and all that. So 3 Jax Raids. One of Calling from Darkness. This one, delete one of your Digimon. Then you may bring up to 2 purple Digimon from your trash to your hand. This is here not only for the resource recursion, but also because of the delete a Digimon part. This helps you with Beelzemon, because oftentimes you don't want to leave Beelzemon out on the field. You want to pop him on your own terms to be able to resolve his effect. You don't want to give your opponent the opportunity to find a way to get him off the board without deleting him. So to help with that, I also run 2 Death Claws. Death Claws, its effect is you may delete one of your Digimon in order to delete one of your opponent's level 4 lower Digimon. This is good for not only taking out their floodgates, like let's say if they have a Gazi or a Madoki Betamon, something that stops you from getting memory. This card helps take care of that. But oftentimes you use this to self-pop your Balmon. So yeah, these 3 cards really help facilitate that. As well as the Shoutmon Cross 4B tech. Since he has Armor Purge and you find a way to bring him out, using this next option, Revive from Darkness. So what Revive from Darkness does is delete one of your Digimon, then you may bring out a level 5 or lower Digimon from the trash without paying its memory cost, but you get no on-play effects. So the idea here is that, let's say you're at 3 memory. You play Revive from Darkness, you pop your Balmon, you finish resolving this first. You bring Shoutmon Cross 4B from the trash. He gets played. You don't get an on-play effect, but you still get the Digicross. The Digicross lets you put a Beelzemon under him, and he has the Armor Purge. So keep in mind, Digicross is not an on-play effect, so you do get the Digicross. Then, next turn, you play a Deathclaw to pop the Shaman Cross 4B, but since he has Armor Purge, you just take off this and you have the Beelzemon left. That play has been so broken, and I've caught so many people off guard with that. It's crazy. So I run 2 of the Revive from Darkness. And then another option I play is Darkness Wave. Darkness Wave, it just helps you turbo your trash. For 1, you can trash the top 3 cards of your deck. It does have a secondary effect that if you have a yellow Digimon in play, you get to bring out a yellow or purple Digimon from the trash as well. But I don't run any yellow Digimon on this list, so that second effect never really procs. The point of this is just turbo your mills, just for 1 cost, mill 3. It really helps out with getting you to your numbers in your trash. The next option is 3 of Death Singer. This is another kind of Beelzemon staple, where it's a 4-cost option that when it gets trashed from your deck, you gain a memory. So as well as Wizardmon, this one helps you gain a memory. Then its main effect, destroy one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. For every 10 cards in your trash, increase the level by 1. Yeah, this is actually a very, very good late game option to delete one of your opponent's Digimon, but oftentimes it's going to get milled out and you're just going to gain memory, and it's going to help you extend your turn. That is it for the options. And lastly, we run these 3 Tamers. Well, Iron Mako at 3. So it's a memory fixer. So at the start of your turn, if you're at 2 or less, you go to 3 memory. And on your turn, when a Digimon would attack your opponent, you could suspend this to mill the top card of your deck. This helps you get those single mills. It helps out a lot. Then, if your attacking Digimon is a Beelzemon, you could Digivolve from the trash into a Beelzemon Blast mode for a memory cost of 3. That helps you get into your Blast mode super, super cheap. This is a must-have in just about every Beelzemon list. Alright. And yeah, that's it. That's the profile. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Stay topping.